Hi.
Hi, people.
Hello, everyone. We're going to have to change that to say part two
All right.
or something.
I will do that.
Darn it.
Yeah.
So we essentially, the thing got stuck. Normally when there are packets that drop out, the broadcast can get interrupted. The recording on our end continues and plays, or should at least play smoothly, on replay after the show has been played on Facebook, but for some reason it wasn't doing that. It simply would not go from
They zeroed.
goes to yellow to green.
They zeroed us out. We were still streaming, but for some reason Facebook dumped us.
Facebook dumped us.
Because everything else is fine here. So
what
there might be their keys
reason?
they give you. They give you these keys. And at some point they expire or something. I've heard of that happening.
What?
It's not been very clear. I was told it's 4 hours. 4 hours for a key.
Well,
But we were at
it doesn't make any sense.
we were at the 2.5 hours.
Okay then.
So
Well,
I don't know. We'll see.
let me. Oh shoot! Can you? Hold on a second.
Oh yeah. Go get your stuff. And you get to stop. You go get yourself a drink of water or something, but cool off a little bit. Get in the chair for a little while. But we're at
Okay. Where did we get stuck at?
we're stuck at.
We were talking about the money, right?
Yeah, we're ready to talk about the money.
Did you get done? Did we get through the?
Nope.
Okay, so if you're just joining this is the Mexican Crossing Lines. This is part 2 of the Gift of Gab. We started off with Tulsi Gabbard. We went through the people that were listed by Wes as the people that invited him out to Standing Rock, and kind of through the last shows since I first played that clip, I've been trying to go through that list and show you more about each of those people and how they're connected to Wes and how they're connected to Standing Rock, what they're doing now, and how weird it is that they all seem to have some extremely conservative and are all closely affiliated with the alt-right and Trump's supporters than they ever let on before. Like, it's kind of eerie and also disturbing. And many of them were affiliated with the Jill Stein campaign, and many of them were affiliated with the Bernie Sanders campaign, and many of them got their origin story right there at Standing Rock, along with Tulsi Gabbard. She was there, and Linda Sarsour, and many others. Okay, and did we finish reading everything that Stephen L. Day said?
Nope, we were just about to read the email he sent.
Okay, so what we were showing you in part 1, where we had just left off, was what was it? A petition? An online petition demanding that Wes Clark Jr. and Michael A. Wood Jr. return the Standing Rock money that they fraudulently took. That's what the petition says. I'm summarizing. We just went over what it said in the last part 1 of The Gift of Gab. If you didn't see that, go back and watch it. And this GoFundMe had comments underneath it, one of which was Stephen L. Day's, where he's requesting that he be reimbursed like he was told he would be if he signed up on that roster, and that they said they would only reimburse a certain limited number of people.
Yeah, if they're on the list ahead of time. And then he talked about he watched the video. And actually, I saw that video. It was Sadef. Sadef was giving that video of telling people how to get reimbursement. It was the first time I actually saw her. And so he is referencing that he'd watched his video that gave you a specific way to get reimbursements, and gave him an email to send your information, the forms you filled out, and it was a dead email. The email didn't exist. And so now he wants to tell us exactly what he said in that email.
This is a woman, we told you, now has clearance to have the data for all of these people at Activision. People that do Call of Duty and all of these other very, I know they probably have connections to the military because they do so many first-person shooter type games. And Sadef now works for them.
Yeah.
And she didn't get there. She didn't climb this ladder of success to be in the position where she's at now had she not worked for, because she has no veteran adjacent experience of anything other than Standing Rock.
Yeah.
And then she went on to work from there at FEMA certified and DHS certified. What was it called? The Rubicon group?
Yeah,
The
Rubicon.
disaster relief group.
Yeah, jeez, what was that?
And she was there with the Robin Gage as well.
Mm-hmm. Got a presidential mention and all that stuff.
Yeah, a letter from Trump of appreciation and some kind of award. So again, they did not really seem to intend to help anybody, not even the veterans.
Yeah, that's what it was for.
But I mean, people like Carl Keene were injured. People like Kathleen Bennett were injured. People like Mary Trujillo were injured.
Mm-hmm.
Their family, they were all harmed. There were a lot of people that were literally physically harmed and had their freedom taken away and could have lost their lives and possibly did at an early, well, Mary for sure did.
Yeah.
Earlier than she should have because of what these people did. And, you know, here is one of the veterans that went there several times to help. He claims he went there earlier, and there's proof of it.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, you know, I wasn't very directly connected to that stand part where you came out with, Wes, but because I already been there before, I was already supporting this whole thing. But I am a veteran, and I did sign the thing that you said you would reimburse people under.
And came back, you know.
I would like to know more about that. So you can want to finish reading that, please.
Yeah. Hello, I'd like to generate an official expense report for my February 01, 2017 return home from Standing Rock and apply for reimbursement of $488.13. Fuel and lodging. I can prove these expenses on February 19th statement from the credit card bank I used. I arrived at Oseti-Chacon Camp November 20th, 2016. Already there and learning of the December 4th through 7th veteran stand action. I checked going for the Facebook event. I signed the roster upon entering the assembly at Sitting Bull College in early January. I signed up on a veteran stand website for future deployments. Today I registered with Veterans Respond. I stayed with veterans who follow Chief J.R. American Horse. I walked with him upon his compliance with the December 5th request that he leave Oseti-Chacon and rode out with him again when he returned by invitation, but was blocked at a south gate by a Veterans for Peace contingent. After my late December round trip home with Clark Jr., after my December round trip home with Clark Jr., weak vet recruit Albert S., and returning to Standing Rock with a trailer of firewood and other hard donations, I worked with JR at Eagle Nest Kitchen during January to close in the structure started there by Joseph H. and others and set it into operation with Ronnie M. I personally covered my November expenses, albeit, and I got partial support from our North Dakota, California, North ND December round trip through a GoFund account we all set up, which did not reach our goal. I am grateful at age 70 for the arrival of the Veterans Respond personnel immediately upon my departure and forever hold the Standing Rock experience close in my heart. Please advise me how to proceed. Thank you, L. Stephen Day.
I wonder if he ever got...
I'm sure he didn't get anything.
I'm sure he didn't get any... Well, they didn't do anything for people that they severely hurt and could be held liable for.
Yeah.
They didn't seem to care. Here is how telling the transformation of these people are. You remember Cassandra Fairbanks?
Mm-hmm. The
lady, the American lady that works for Russians.
Yeah, the Sputnik.
The propaganda for the Kremlin, Sputnik, and other alt-right publications like...
Friend of Roger Stone's.
Mm-hmm. She's friends with Roger Stone. This is one of her more recent tweets. And she's tweeting about Russia, who she works for.
Wow.
And she says, if Russia was involved, it sounds like they were just trying to bring back democracy to America. by exposing the corrupt media and Democratic Party. How nice of them.
Wow.
Thanks, Russia. Love to Mother Russia.
Mm-hmm.
What in the hell?
Yeah.
Remember the last show I showed you those people with their I'd rather be Russian than Democrat t-shirts? And they're all wearing MAGA hats?
Yep.
These are people that freak out if black athletes kneel before the flag, but they're ready to defect to another country or let this country be taken over as a satellite of Russia? Are you Russians or are you Americans?
Yeah.
These people are traitors. And, you know, a lot of them like to celebrate the other traitor's flag, the Confederate one.
Yes, exactly.
Wouldn't you know? So, here's another post that kind of indicates where these people were always headed and always were. This is, of course, Katie Johnstone, the woman that was interviewing the guy that was talking about the Holocaust denier that was talking about sex slave children on Mars.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
And look who they're posting about. None other than the friend of Jeffrey Haas, the lawyer for the WPLC, who was fired by BJ Nastasio. The friend Roy McGovern is who they're talking about, and how he was quote unquote brutalized by police at Haspel's confirmation. And remember that video that video was shot by Terrence Daniels, another Ed Higgins friend, another friend of all of these people.
Yeah.
And Katie Johnstone was in that video with Cassandra Fairbanks when they were doing the Assange Fest with
Yeah,
people
that's
from
right.
the alt-right in the video.
Yep.
Okay? The
Yep.
Assange-a-thon.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, he's retweeting or he's resharing Katie Johnstone, and he's saying truth. And Katie Johnstone say Ray McGovern is America's conscience. His treatment here after condemning torture says everything there is to say about the U.S. government.
Okay.
And then, of course, you had Credico, the comedian, that was supposedly the conduit between Roger Stone and, you know, the Guccifer 2.0 and the information that was leaked in WikiLeaks by Julian Assange, shows up and does a similar thing where he gets arrested and kicked out at the White House press dinner.
That's right.
Remember that?
Correspondence dinner. Yes, I do.
They appeared on Lee Camp's show, and they were on Russian television going, this is horrible, and nobody else cared.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, there's the connection that he talked about to Flint, Michigan, to the Wolves Den and, you know, what happened at Camp Promise. And I showed you how Aylin Altanuk was connected to that camp. How what's the name of the guy? Ryan Laurie?
Ryan Laurie, yeah.
The Nazi guy that was running the camp was also a veteran. Had gone also to Standing Rock. And I was trying to ask Wes, did he know him? Did they all, were they all supposed to go to Flint afterwards? Because, you know, he said he got kicked out. He left, you know, in a plane that, a private plane that one of his friends chartered to get him out of there because he thought he was going to get killed. And he had nothing to do with the veteran stand stuff anymore. And he had nothing to do with the money. But yet, I showed you by his own texts to Michael Wood Jr. 4 days after he left Standing Rock, he was still in control of the PR person he hired to go out there, Seven McDonald, excuse me. And Wes was telling Michael A. Wood Jr., don't worry, she's whipping up a press release about the money.
Yeah.
Our PR person has got the spin. It's coming. We're going to let the public know. Right?
Yep.
And so he told me two different things. There was nothing that he was involved with. Then I see an interview of him with Sean Stone on Russian television say, well, you know, I don't have anything to do anymore with it, but I support whatever they're doing. And that's when they were going out to Flint. So you were giving mixed messages, and I'm sure that's probably why Chelsea Lyons Kent tried to reach out to you, and why Evan Duke III tried to reach out to you to get you to go out there. Here's Chelsea at the People Summit, and of course next to her is Yane Indigo, who was Maggie's friend, who's one of those Hollywood people that's one of those rich ladies that knows, like Sarah Pipes or Lopez, that knows people in the media and that know celebrities, and they rub up against people with money. So here, rubbing up against her is Angelo Sison, or Angelo Wolf, as he tried to name himself to appear to be more indigenous, even though he is Filipino. Mr. Sison has, after Standing Rock, went to Flint to squat in a house where he and Chelsea both left without paying over $2,000 in rent after trashing the location and embarrassing the town and taking resources that the people there actually needed, using it as a jumping off point for other crimes they would commit in the future. For Chelsea, that included raping a woman. And here you have Chase and Chelsea at the same place. Chase managed to get a bunch of people arrested at the last child camp. Remember him? And I told you that the Lakota Law Project was recently tweeting about raising money for him because he's about to go where no other Indian has gone before.
To court.
Into court. Like, no, they're making this big case about how they're going to hold Tiger Swan accountable. They keep trying to show you, look over here, Tiger Swan, they're responsible for everything. They're the ones, not us. But in actuality, it's Chase. Chase is responsible. I don't know how long they will continue to dupe you with this fake lawsuit. And the charges that they're actually facing are for inciting a riot. And he did organize, no matter what he tells you, he and a lot of other people did directly organize and raise money for and put people in charge of certain things. He, for example, was one of the people that Bill Runningfisher, the mercenary paid by the Veterans Stand for Standing Rock, Sadaf Buyakataman specifically, told me in an interview that this guy, Chase Iron Eyes, put L'Oreal Blackshaw in charge of the camp security, and that he, along with Face Spotted Eagle, Arvel Looking Horse, and the headsman, gave those vets orders on what to do at the camp. One of the things they did was to remove Mary Trujillo to a hospital and have her daughter arrested. Falsely. Completely, maliciously, and falsely. And I told them that they were adjacent to the people directly involved, and they ignored it and they covered it up. They did. They covered up a crime against a Lakota elder and her daughter, and they didn't care. None of them cared. And now they want you to give them money so that they can blame all of this. They can keep you thinking this is all the Tiger Swan people, and when we depose them, oh my God, the information will be able to prove so much. This is like when they kept telling you that Courtney Doctor and Kyle Thompson were the key to everyone going free. Everyone was going to go free, and all the charges were going to get dropped. And where did that go? Big fat nothing sandwich, remember? But they were raising money, and they were traveling around the country. They had to protect them. And the WPLC was like posting about them. It was disgusting. Here's the video the Lakota Law Project posted. Go ahead and play that, please. It's ridiculous, by the way.
My name is Dan Sheehan. I'm the Chief Defense Attorney for Chase Iron Eyes, the sole person in North Dakota who's been charged with inciting a riot against the Dakota Access Pipeline. Just this past week, Chase Iron Eyes has filed his necessity defense with the court, asserting that the actions that they took were necessary in order to stop an existential threat.
They are committed to staying in an act of unarmed civil resistance to what we consider an illegal pipeline.
And if anybody else gets hurt, you're going to get charged for whatever anybody's hurt for because you organized this.
I did not organize this. We don't have a hierarchy. We're not organized like that.
The Dakota Access Pipeline was a threat to their water. It was drilled directly under their sole source of drinking water. And when they challenged this, the Dakota Access Pipeline Corporation called into the state of North Dakota the Tiger Swan Private Military Corporation from North Carolina. We have now demanded the right to subpoena this military security company and to prove that they were racially targeting the Lakota people as domestic indigenous jihadist terrorists. They don't want the truth to come out. They don't want the truth to come out about the private military corporation joining with the petroleum industry to try to crush opposition to this massive campaign to build thousands of miles of pipelines here under the North American continent. So we are here to uncover the truth. That is the purpose of these depositions, to put them under oath, to show that they mounted a full campaign to crush the opposition to these pipelines in North America. The prosecution is taking the position that if they're compelled to go to North Carolina to cover these depositions, we have to cover all the expenses for the state prosecution team and for counsel to come from North Dakota for Tiger Swan. We need to be able to assert to the court that we are prepared to pay those costs if it's necessary, and we need your help now. So go to lakotalaw.org. Thank you very much.
Wow.
So let me just point out that Tiger Swan by the Intercept articles that were put out, we're out of there, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
But maybe this isn't just all a ploy to get a bunch more money for the Lakota Law Project that just gets lined into the pockets of Mr. Sheehan and Mr. Iron Eyes and whoever else they plan to split it with, because they literally had Chase as the only plaintiff, the only defendant, the only person they were representing, other than Holy Elk Lafferty, whose case was recently resolved, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I believe. And I think, didn't she take a deferred sentence as well?
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
I can't remember for sure either, to be honest. But we did talk about it at one point. But what really cheeses me off about that video is the part where the officer says to him, if anything happens here, if anybody is hurt, you're going to be held responsible for it. And he goes, I didn't organize this.
That's right.
Yes, you did. You and your buddies did. And there's a lot of evidence of it all over Facebook and social media. Your big mouth and you and your wife and your daughters and your Hollywood friends and your Hollywood connections. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. We've documented it all. And you are liable. So if you want to keep on putting money in Chase Iron Eye's war chest so that he can defend himself from all of the stuff that he has been perpetrating, including recently going with the justice delegation to Israel, along with a group of people that are considered to have included someone affiliated with what Israel considers to be a terrorist group.
Yeah.
A group that wants to end the Israeli state and exterminate it and its people. BDS movement. And Linda Sarsour. So that is what these folks are affiliating themselves with and to. And he's also been hanging out with, talking in front of a lot of Green Party events. Again, I'm noticing this pattern, and I wanted you to notice it as well. And in addition to that, Angelo was in those Intercept article leaks, and this is from SOF Rep, but you can see that there was a targeting. This was one of the people that they were targeting for possible blackmail, or they thought would be vulnerable to exploitation or whatever. Yeah, I think a lot of these people are probably vulnerable to exploitation. If by that you mean that they're either money hungry or power hungry or attention hungry. Yeah, all of these people were definitely those things. And here there's Angelo and Tiger Swan. He was, of course, in Flint. You can keep going, honey. Where they were mocking at the Flint house, Flint Flop house, these women, Chelsea Lyons, including that lady from Women Indigenous Media, and also Lolly B. Yeah. They were mocking the fact that Tiger Swan was present out at Standing Rock by dressing up as tiger swans. Yeah. And next we have a conversation that Wes Clark shared with me, a text messages in which he was talking to, I can't tell.
It says Evan Duke in here in Flint.
Oh, it's Evan Duke. Yeah. And I think Wes sent this to me saying that he wouldn't pick up Evan's phone call. So Evan texted him instead and said, "You got a minute to talk anytime soon, Wes?" And Wes said, "I don't trust anyone right now. This phone is probably tapped and monitored by multiple agencies and nation states."
Yeah.
And that's why, that's exactly what he said below there. And what did it say all the way at the top, though? So he'd spoken to him or texted with him before, and he says, "Do with activism or any of you again." I don't want to have anything to do with activism or any of you again. And he says, "Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I know we didn't spend much time together, but and there's more, and we don't know what it was."
Yep.
And next, there is one recent post of Evan Duke's, just to give you an update of where are they now.
Yeah.
Where are the crazy people associated with the Veterans Stand for Standing Rock and Tulsi Gabbard's arrival there and all that? Why? And an Antifa rally.
Yeah.
An Antifa rally. Does that make you feel safer, Duke?
No, not at all. Wow.
Dear God, help us.
They're still out there. They're still doing more damage.
More damage. And here's another Wes Clark text thing he sent me where he says, "Chelsea Lyons messaged me on Facebook last night for the first time ever." Like we're supposed to believe Wesley didn't ever know anything about Chelsea Lyons or Eddie Higgins or any of these people that Maggie and all these other people knew.
It's like Mike Fezzik. I don't know anything. I don't know.
7. I just met her. Chelsea Lyons, for the first time ever, trying to get me involved in Flint.
Yeah.
Saying the city needs a movement just like the vet deployment to Standing Rock. Well, you put that idea out there in the first place.
Yeah, he was going to go there next.
She says, "Glad to have you in the Flint chat." And he says, "Wasn't on it, but it kept notifying me with every message. Can you all take me off that? I quite literally do not trust anyone, and I'm done with activism." Pretty sure you can do activism whether or not you trust people, says Chelsea Lyons.
Yeah, no one trusts her.
But remember in a recent post that I showed where people were asking about getting a group of veterans together to help with, detention center situations going on right now where people protesting. He's like, "I'm thinking about it." And I'm like, so conveniently when he wants to, he jumps in and starts talking to and mobilizing people to do these things that he claims he's not wanting to involve himself at all anymore.
Exactly.
And next, you'll see what else they've been involving themselves in, which is the missing and murdered Indigenous women.
Yeah.
They all want to get paid. What's the thing that we can astroturf? Oh, dead and missing Indigenous women?
Yep.
Yes. I want to get paid. So here's Angelo trying to get paid on the Red Ribbon Alert Project.
Yeah.
He didn't raise enough money for his Kickstarter, though.
No.
And he also was selling T-shirts. Selling the T-shirts. One of the people in the T-shirts there that he's been trying to peddle is a guy that's got that weird hat there. You see the guy with the hat? Not that one. That guy's
here.
also got a weird hat.
Right, yes.
To be fair, there are 4 people with 5 people. There's 4 people with hats and one. There's only one person in all of these pictures without a hat. That was a horrible way to try to draw your attention to the guy with the big red beard. There's no other bearded people in these pictures,
True.
so I should have said that. Mm-hmm. And he's standing next to a well-known Native American. Well, I don't think he's actually Native American, but his name is Wes Studi. Is he really Native American?
I don't know.
He does play Native American in a lot of movies.
On movies, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're famous for
And
not
his
having
name
Native
is-
Americans play Native Americans in the movies.
That's true. I think he really is one, though.
What?
I hope I'm not wrong about that, because there's so many fake Indians in my
Yeah.
stories, in the stories of Standing Rock.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite literally heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And of course, it's also it's kind of disheartening how many of these folks that went out there to stand with the people as allies turned out to just be, attention getting and looking for a place to build their political career. Like,
Yeah.
y'all were just using the opportunity to exploit it for a PR stunt. It's beyond gross. And taking, using the goodwill of the public, supposedly, so you could go and stand with the Indians and help them. You think black students, Jeff Day thinks black students in a mostly black school should be beat by their teachers like animals. He talks about them like they're out of control animals. He compares the schools to prisons. Like these kids are criminal just because they're black. But we're supposed to believe that he likes to stand and try to defend indigenous people being abused by racist police in North Dakota? Really? Really?
Yeah.
And look at the homophobia just below the surface. Look at the racism, the white savior syndrome is just below the surface of all of these people. And their adjacentness, their closeness, their willingness to get in bed with alt-right Nazi racists and Trump supporters. I don't think that's an accident.
No.
Here's a Vice article in which this guy that you just saw in that picture with the big furry hat that looks like a Russian hat. His name is Mahmoud Fatil, and he appears in that picture next to Wes Studi, the actor. And I brought him up before. He's with the Democratic Socialists, and I think also associated very closely to Jane Klebe and Bold, Nebraska, where Carol Dix, the lady that gave us money for the Kathleen Bennett case,
Yes.
is from. The last time I talked to Carol, which was a very long time ago, when I mentioned this guy's name, she became very, very agitated for some reason, very upset. Mahmoud Fatil.
Okay.
I was shocked to see who all Mahmoud Fatil was connected to. In this article, he appears wearing a Bernie shirt for president. Okay. And in the next photo here, he is with closer to West Studi. That's the picture.
That's a picture.
Of course, that's him posting it. What does it say there next to what he said? Where he at?
Let's see. I got to make it a little bit bigger. Met Wes Studi last night in Des Moines, Iowa. Great actor. It was a pleasure to speak with him. Very personable, and he spent some time with us water protectors up at Standing Rock, telling ETP, no dabble. Rock My Stolen Lands shirt designed by my brother Angelo Sison for unseated clothing.
His brother.
It's his brother. Okay.
And brothers, huh? What is he connected to?
Defend the Sacred. Attending Sold Out, a night with Wes Studi.
Okay, keep going. The next one, please.
Oh.
Just keep going. Oh, Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders.
Wow. He got a picture with Bernie Sanders. Oh my God. How lucky is he?
Yep.
And that is a flag that he's holding in a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
He is from one of the, I think he's from the Ukraine or Turkey, Crimea.
This is Crimea.
That's Crimea.
Yes.
Okay, that's the flag of Crimea. He has that a lot. He also takes pictures next to the Turkish flag. So
Yep.
here's one where he's with Joy Brun of the
Oh,
Indigenous
my God.
Environmental Network
yeah.
at the Wakpa Sikat Historical Society. So they was hanging out in June.
Mm-hmm.
And then here he is with Jane Cleve.
Wow.
Of Bold, Nebraska. None other than. And let me just tell you, Jane Cleve from Nebraska is close to and connected to the head of the Democratic Party in Nebraska, who is none other than the father of Menape Lemaire, the man that ordered Kathleen Bennett to be removed from camp and arrested. The man that ordered for Mary Trujillo to be taken to a hospital and left there to die. That's the son of none other than the head of the Democratic Party, the meth dealer that did a stint in prison for dealing meth.
Yeah, the headsman.
The headsman,
Yeah.
Menape George Lemaire, is the son, adopted son, not biological son, of Frank Lemaire, the head of the Democratic Party in Nebraska.
Yep.
And close to, working closely with Jane Cleve, and so is Menape, and so is Mahmoud.
Yep.
Why do you think Menape ended up talking to the governor of North Dakota in the closing of the camps? Because he was connected to all these people.
Yep.
Dallas Goldtooth brought him in. Look at what Mahmoud Fatil is posting about here. Why, it's none other than the video of women indigenous media.
Yes. Yep.
One of the Myron Dewey media groups that was created from that was Myron Dewey's network.
Digital smoke signals.
I try to block them out of my brain now.
Yep.
But he's posting, and the video is the Women Indigenous Media video made about Lacey Jean Williams' rape by Michael Fassig's son, Derek Fassig, for which he was recently convicted. Derek Fassig is the son of Mike Fassig, both of which gave statements on behalf of, for the state, for Morton County, against water protectors, both of whom were witnesses against people that went to Standing Rock, like Kathleen Bennett. There was a lot of people in the camp, including Mulaney and Olive Bias, Michael Marcus's girlfriend or Lakota wife, whatever she is, statements that were given to police that put an innocent woman in jail. That's the same thing that Marcus and his son were doing. That's Fassig and his son, were doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that Marcus was also doing. A lot of these people were giving false statements against people that were innocent that were there. You haven't picked up on this?
Yeah.
They're getting people arrested. That's what they were doing. And then, of course, we saw Menape go with the Nexus lady, right? There's Menape. Mahmoud Fatil was hanging out with Akichida, Hoksida, otherwise Menape, otherwise George Lemaire, convicted felon, ex-meth dealer. And he is, can you go back to that picture? Because it's a very important picture. I want you to see who's in that picture with him. Right behind Menape, Lemaire, and next to Mahmoud Fatil is the chairman, Harold Frazier, of the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe. Okay? So they're in tight with all the leaders of the tribes in addition to. Right?
Yep.
These are the people that they were brokering the deals directly with. Phyllis Young, right? Phyllis Young, Faith Spotted Eagle looking, Arvel looking horse. Right?
Yep.
Mulaney's mama, Mulaney. Right?
Yep.
There's the movers and the shakers and the policymakers. Archambault. And here's a picture of Mahmoud back home, from back home. That's what he does on his spare time.
Wow.
Or that's at least what he did. Well, can you describe what's in the picture you see there?
Bunch of guns, people in camouflage, their faces all covered in masks.
It's a group of mercenaries.
Mercenaries.
And what do they have in their hands? Are those puppies?
No.
What the hell are they?
I have to enlarge it to actually see. Explosives. I don't know. I don't know what's in those bags.
Their hands, honey. What's in their hands?
Guns.
What kind of guns?
Well, they're military-style weapons. There's a machine gun there. Looks like all sorts of large-clipped machine guns, you know?
Yeah. Very
Assault
dangerous.
rifles, yeah.
These look like assault weapons, and they look like they're like in some remote location. Like they're like some kind of... They're a mercenary group training for some operation or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here he is with people in Minnesota. No spiritual surrender. So he's connected to hashtag no spiritual surrender, which is that Ryan Vizen's white guy dude.
Yeah.
The hashtag seeding sovereignty, which is that Christine Nobis, the Bernie Sanders lady, connected to the fake Miwok Indian Desiree Kane, that's connected to all the other phonies, and also a friend of Wes.
Mm-hmm.
And defend the sacred. And they tagged Christine Nobis. Oh, look.
Yep.
What I just say?
Exactly.
And Mahmoud Fitil. So next one, we have Mahmoud and Prolific, the rapper. One of those other people that was being represented by Patrick, the lawyer that was in Japan and Taiwan with Myron Dewey recently, telling them to divest.
Yep.
Here they are with the Tribe Called Red. Oh, and Prolific the rapper. So man, he's just
making
adjacent
rounds
to all of the people connected to Standing Rock, and they're not at Standing Rock. They're like looking at it like they're at a concert. This is after. No, this looks like November 8, 2016.
Okay.
So no, this is a year. This is after
17.
So they're still hanging out. They're still kicking it.
Yep.
They're on the junket tour. They're on the tour of the Awake tours, all these tours that all these phonies are taking.
Yep.
Making a name and claiming the fame, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Keep going, honey.
Here we go.
Here's
Wania.
there she is, Wania Locke.
Yes.
Wania Locke, one of those very famous people that first started calling people out like Mama Ladana.
Yep.
And who else is he hanging out with? The picture of the phony ladies that were making the call out and kept all the money wouldn't be complete without who? Why, it's Winona LaDuke.
Exactly.
And there he is holding his little flag again, the Crimean flag. And here in the next picture, he is with the Turkish flag and the Crimean flag.
Yes.
So, wonder how he feels about Erdogan. Next, we have a picture of him with a whole bunch of people, including Mulaney. Yes, the kidnapper in the Kathleen Bennett case. She's right where that Wells Fargo murders of communities of women, and next to a couple of people away from her to the right in the photo in a white shirt is none other than Faith.
Yes.
Spotted Eagle.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it is very easy to spot Mahmoud Fitil in the big red shirt with the white sign behind them that says bring back Wamble something, because he has a red beard.
Yep.
As usual, you can see. And they are at an event, in fact, all these people in an event that is trying to bring awareness of the missing and murdered Indigenous women that recently has gotten so much attention, and the government, the federal government, is now going to be allotting some $56 million to the people that are doing the work. I told you Mulaney would be lining up. Where do I cash in on my crime that I committed? I tried to make it look like I was the hero that saved an elderly dementia woman, and we were going to say she was raped, and I saved her.
Yeah.
And then she had to preside over or, talk about the rape of her own daughter, or well, it's not really her blood daughter, but the child that she is the foster parent of, I guess. And she's using that as a jumping off point it seems really
Got to rebuild her career.
yeah, it seems very exploitative. And next we have the posting of who I believe is Holyoke Lafferty in this the one that posted this video.
Yeah.
And or it could be Mulaney herself, but it was a video that was made by Digital Smoke Signals, as you can see there.
Yeah.
And would you please read what it says?
And Mission, South Dakota for missing, it's kind of blurry. MMIW Summit presenting a proclamation for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women Day by the Rosebud Sioux Tribe. The Rosebud Sioux Tribe does hereby proclaim Saturday, May 5th, 2018 as Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women's
Day.
Awareness Day.
Now, I want you to scroll all the way to the bottom. And I'm going to go through this list of people that were there present at this event to declare the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women Day, okay? It's kind of a who's who of people that orchestrated the operation with Russian sabotage that are now trying to cash in on dead and missing Indigenous women when they didn't give a rip about what they did, the carnage they left behind at Standing Rock to people like Kathleen Bennett and her mom. These people need to be held accountable, as does Wes. And they didn't just hurt her, they hurt other people like Carl Keene. These people are responsible for the theft and defrauding of millions and millions of dollars. And one of them is Faith Spotted Eagle, right?
Yep.
Then we have, and it says, White Buffalo Calf Women's Society.
Yeah.
And the Braveheart Society. And there's Mulaney Stoneman, Braveheart Society. And then Judith LeBlanc of the Caddo First Nation. I don't know who that is. Rebecca Tork, the Dakota Rural Alliance. And then there's Christine Nobis. Seeding Sovereignty, Indigenous Iowa. She's the one that did that horrible picture with, or that was circulating, the horrible picture of the Virgin of Guadalupe / Mary looking figure, which they took from our culture and put guns on it and oil and all sorts of crazy crap.
Yeah.
Very disrespectful to our culture and our deities. And then Sharon Drapeau and the Deborah Parker, of course, is the Tulalip, and she is the wife of Myron Dewey.
Oh, okay.
Myron and his wife are getting their fingers. That's why Myron was saying in this latest video, I'm not a drone pilot no more. I'm not trying to educate people about traditional trauma and all the crap he was saying at Standing Rock. Now he's all into the missing and murdered Indigenous women stuff. That's what he was always about. That's what and Louis Grassrope, one of the people that, along with Menape, had an Indigenous woman kidnapped, sent her away, made her go missing from her family for 6 months and nearly killed her. Here he is. The nerve.
Yeah.
The indecency of this is astonishing.
Look who's after him.
Menape la mierda.
Wow.
Menape la mierda. They even spelled it wrong. It's La Mer.
Yep.
But see, they've Lmier.
Yeah.
Which is not how his name is spelled, unless he's trying to hide the true spelling of his name, since everybody knows
they
that
can
he's
look
a
him
meth
up.
dealer and a criminal and an abusive man that took advantage of these two women and put one in an early grave. This is the man that you're supposed to trust with missing women.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. And who else do we have on here? Inkpa Money, Janet Rosen, and of course it says Christine Nobis posted, or must have posted this, I guess. And it says the summit is led by the White Buffalo Calf Women's Society, the Braveheart Society. Those are all Faith Spotted Eagle and Mulaney. Native Organizers Alliance, Native Women's Society of the Great Plains, and the video is property of Ocheti. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Seeding Sovereignty, Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women. And of course, LaDonna is all over this stuff as well. But right now she's in Portugal, as I told you, hanging out with Chase's daughter, Tocata Iron Eyes.
Yeah.
And this is where they are. Tamara, it's called. And I think that they're at some like bio something where they do that. You know, they're peddling different kinds of energy, like solar and wind and things like that. And and the next picture here's another person that went with her, the fake Miwok Indian, Desiree Kane. And she says, I am on sabbatical, kinda. And the best news I have is that I was given a friendship bracelet today on the beach. It's red.
Oh, man.
Hashtag winning. Oh, and we made the Portuguese national news. And of course, Allison Renville, the person that I showed you, told Josh and Ren that woman, Kathleen Bennett, was definitely guilty of hurting her mother. It would all be, she knew for a fact, she said, that defended it.
Yep.
That recently we showed you talking about Red Wolf Pope in the show Liar, Liar, Pants on Fire. Saying, oh, we should have done something more to help women to avoid these kinds of things. How about you not telling people, Allison Renville, to shut up? How about you not trying to tamper with witnesses in a federal case and threaten them and trying to censor them? How about that? And of course she would be friends with fake Miwok Indian Desiree Kane. Yeah. Of course she is. So, moving right along, there is Wes Clark and Desiree Kane. And Wes Clark told me, this is a clip of me talking about my frustration with white saviors, white ladies, or people that have lived their entire effing lives as white people that champion white culture, that are Trump supporting, pipeline loving, extractive industry worshiping, and also white supremacy shilling people of color like Chase Iron Eyes and LaDonna, money grubbing people like Phyllis and Mulaney and all these other people that did their people the way that they did them and robbed them and defrauded them. All of those people might as well be white supremacists themselves. That's what they're advocating for, and they're hurting their people in the process. And I was expressing my anger and my frustration. I did so with somebody that was his girlfriend for a while, Remy, a.k.a. Jeremy Frendenberg, one of the people that you saw hanging out with the vets in those pictures that I showed you recently. And the other was with Wes Clark, and this is what I said, and this is what he said about a woman I know he's still friends with, Desiree Kane. Yeah. And people like these white women that, you know, want to fuck their way into the Native American culture, and then, you know, even like Christina Hollenbeck and Desiree Kane, and then they start, like Desiree Kane, start masquerading like, I'm an Indian. Just realized it yesterday. Guess what? Indian now. And it's really fucking weird because they're like fucking their way into people's cultures.
Yeah. It's weird as fuck.
And
there's ulterior motives. That's the other thing.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. I mean, I've been watching what Desiree Kane has been getting into. And they're trying to co-opt all of these Native American issues the way that they did with Standing Rock.
Is Christina Hollenbeck helping her?
Christina Hollenbeck's been working in the background this whole time, yeah.
Because I only saw them together once or twice at camp, and they didn't seem like they knew each other.
Desiree and Christina?
Yeah, but that was only I was only there a week.
Well, you know, if they're if there were operatives sent in to work on a specific group of people, they might have been assigned to different groups. Who knows?
It's true.
Because Christina was always, she's always been hovering. I may share more of my conversations with Wes on another show. But he told me originally, if you will recall, in the other show where I talked about Desiree Kane and I shared the interview that I did get with her, the very short conversation I was able to get with her. He told me Desiree Kane was his friend and he was concerned for her. And now we know she was working right along with all of the people that were doing the PR for the Veterans Stand for Standing Rock and closely tied to the Bernie Sanders campaign and other political campaigns. Okay? So, I hope y'all are paying attention. I find it very hard to believe that Mr. Clark could watch what was happening in the lives of so many people that were hurt by the people that he was supporting, that he put into place out there, and he did nothing about it. I also find it very suspicious that he recently changed his Facebook page and just kind of went hiding.
Yeah.
I find that to be both a sad and cowardly move, because a lot of people have questions about what happened at Standing Rock. And guess what? I know what you did at Standing Rock. I know what all of you did at Standing Rock. And we're going to keep telling the world here on a Mexican Crossing Lines on 88.1 FM KPPPLP Fargo Moorhead, where we are adding local color to your airwaves. Duke, say goodnight.
Good night, Duke. Pleasure spending the evening with you all. There's 2 parts. Make sure you go back and see the first part if you haven't seen the first part. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody.
Bye.